Earlier in the show tonight, we spoke with lawyer May Chen, who was last night announced as one of the 16 finalists in the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Ms. Chen told us she was surprised to find herself the only female on stage, alongside 15 other finalists, who included Peter Cross from Dairyworks, Carrie Smith from Ray White, and Hamish Pinkham from Rhythm and Vines. Susan Doughty is the Executive Director of EY. I asked her why there was only one woman among the 16 finalists.
It's a challenge for us. Every year we really set out to make sure that we've got a good balance of women coming into the competition. Last year, in fact, we had 6 females, we had more than 6 females in the competition, but 6 of those were actually finalists and 3 were category winners, so it can be a little bit cyclical. But let me tell you about the program that might help give you some context. So first of all, it's really important to note that these entrepreneurs have to enter themselves, or peers will nominate them. But at the outset of the program each year, EY really strive to encourage more women to enter into the award program because we're very focused on diversity.
And how do you do that, Susan? How do you encourage them?
Yeah, so we develop a long list of women that we may have had contacts with as clients, or that we have observed in the media, who are doing some really great things or have been successful in their businesses. And in fact, what we'll do is personally contact them. And we contact them, we'll go out and see them, we'll go and talk to them about the program, and we really encourage them to enter it. The other thing that we do is we try to make the competition entry itself quite gender neutral, so people, so it doesn't, so it will attract more female entrepreneurs. But at the end of the day, we just don't have any control over who enters and who ultimately wins.
So what's usually the balance between the men and women entering this competition?
Yeah, so again, as I say, with a long list, we try to start out quite gender balanced. By the time we've got those entries into the program itself, up to that point, we're probably looking at about a third of women in that competition list.
Right, but you've ended up with 1 in 16. So what does that mean? Does that mean that the women just don't make the grade? They just don't cut it?
Well, it's interesting because, there's so many good businesses out there and everyone is judged on their merits. Now, one thing I would say is that EY doesn't actually do the judging. We have an external judging panel made up of experts. And again, that's gender neutral as well. We have 4 judges and 2 of which are female. So one of those is Anne Norman and the other is Carmel Fisher. And I think previously we've had Diane Foreman there. So it's not as if we're taking males judging males. We have a very gender balanced judging panel who are looking and assessing all of these businesses. At the end of the day, we have very strict global criteria for the competition, and at the end of the day, I guess it's about making sure that the most worthy, is that the right word, or everybody is judged on their merits on an equal basis.
Does this frustrate you? Does this, as a woman?
It does. Yeah, it does. And let me tell you something. I've been really involved with the EOY program over the last 3 years. And I have made it my mission to talk to a lot of women and get them involved. But do you know what stands out to me is that they're very humble about their achievements. And I'd say almost universally they don't see themselves at the level of competition, so they don't put themselves forward. And this is really in contrast to a lot of the male entrepreneurs who just jump in, boots and all. So in some ways we see the effects of that imposter syndrome playing out at this level. If I could give you an example, Rajna Patel, who was one of the category winners last year of Nirvana Health, she has an unbelievable story and she did incredibly well last year, but it took about 3 or 4 years, in fact, to get her to enter. So we have this situation where we try to do the legwork, we try to encourage women, but we just need to get them to commit.
With this year's competition, how many women actually entered?
There was about, again, it was slightly less than a third this year. I believe there was about 12 women in the entries.
12. It's not very representative of what's going on in New Zealand, is it?
That's right. And again, you know, we're reaching out through networks. We're putting it out through, you know, Global Women. We're putting it out through all sorts of, you know, company of women. You think about every women's network that might be business connected, and we're trying those channels. So it's really tough.
And that's Susan Doughty, the executive